Man of Steel writer and producer and one of the architects of the DC Extended Universe, David S. Goyer, has been talking about how WB and DC wanted things done. And he said that there was a lot of pressure that came down on them, sometimes directly, sometimes indirectly, as a suggestion that they either had to be like the MCU or don't bother at all. So I just want to say this before I get into this video to make this very clear. I have sympathy for Goyer and Snyder. They were given a job that at one point was supposed to be a standalone Superman film, and quickly they were tossed literally headfirst into something they didn't sign up on, with pressure coming down on them that if you don't do what we're telling you, we can easily replace you. Hence why David S. Goyer has been making the rounds talking about Man of Steel, the development of that film, and how everything was going on behind the scenes. And he says that every time they would commit to something or something was approved, somebody else would come in and go, look at what the MCU is doing. Do that. Hey, they're going to do this. Do that. Hey, they have an idea for this character. We need to beat them to it. Obviously, I think he's talking about Wonder Woman in that sense, right? Get that film out before they get anything out. And at the time, Captain Marvel was already greenlit. He also mentions how there was different heads that had different ideas that would come to them separately and be like, this is what we want. And then they'd be like, okay. And then the next person would be like, that's not what we want. This is what we wanted. And they're like, okay, we'll adjust. After that, a third person comes in. Actually, neither of those is correct. You got the wrong info. Do this instead. And they would just kind of bounce back and forth and go, what do they actually want? What is the thing here? And he says constantly, every single one of them came to them and said, we want you to be like the MCU. We need our MCU. Do our MCU now. And he said this was constant. And when they would try to tell them, we need to walk before we can run, they would say, no, we need to run because we got to catch up ASAP. And the result was Batman v Superman. So again, as I said in the beginning, it's not his and Zack Snyder's fault that things got spun out of control. They were doing the job that they were hired to do, which had ever-changing voices behind the scenes. It's honestly the worst case scenario they were stuck with.